Testing, testing. Alright, it only took 2 tries to get it working today. I'm glad I'm starting to get the hang of this, especially since it's recording day and all. I'm a little early though. I wonder what people usually do before they start broadcasting. I read that vocal exercises help, but I have no clue how to do that sort of thing. Maybe just talking into the void for a bit will do the trick? I haven't been talking much these days since I'm living alone in the woods. Actually, now that I say that, I don't think I remember what forest I'm in. I was so worried about mastering computers that I kind of forgot about the new geography and country names and whatnot. The only reason I'm here in this random forest is because I needed to be near a strong source of magic, and this was pretty much the closest one I could sense after waking up. At least, the closest one that was big enough to hide in. Which probably means it's also hiding a fairy stronghold or something. Fairies are very good at concentrating magic, especially in trees and plants. If I'd managed to find one buzzing around, I wonder if they could have helped me set everything up. It took so many tries to hook you up to the magic supply computer. It was a nightmare. I must say though, this forest is definitely getting the job done. All this magic did wonders for me over the past month. I mean, I was out for a long time, longer than I had even originally planned. So without this boost, it probably would have taken the better part of a year to get back to fully functioning. It's even brought my mood up a little bit. Honestly, I did not realize how beneficial forest magic could be. I guess in retrospect, I should have waited until after I was fully acclimated before posting that schedule, though. Just in case I hadn't recovered so quickly. I don't know, I got so excited that people remembered me and were reaching out to me. I know it was mostly to ask for help, and they probably don't really care about me. But it was, at the time it was nice. Well, nice enough that I fell for it. It's not really a laughing matter, I suppose, but I really am getting too old to be going headlong into these things, especially on a whim. Maybe there's a bright side. At least it means I haven't become an empty husk yet. Oh man, I am definitely rambling now, aren't I? That might have been a bit longer than a simple warm-up. I'm surprised I'm feeling this nervous. But the clock is ticking. I have to get started sometime. Let's just double check everything. Right. We are good to go. Going live in 3, 2. Good evening, magical beings of the world. This is Atlas coming to you live from some enchanted forest somewhere. As many of you have heard, I woke up from hibernation about a month ago and have decided to answer your pleas for some magic-oriented news. I hope you'll enjoy this more than, whatever the humans are doing, and I'll also upload the broadcast after it's over, so if you're busy during this time, you'll still be able to listen to it later. But enough of those pleasantries. It's now time for general world news. The world learns again something Asia has known for years. As the coronavirus ensues, most decent people have begun wearing face masks in their day-to-day life outside their homes, both to protect themselves and those around them from sickness. Western countries, after a few months of this, have come to the conclusion that you can, in fact, make face masks fashionable. I think they're a little slow on the uptake, but they'll get there. On the positive side of things, as masks increase, the number of people losing their faces has begun to decrease. Face stealers worldwide have been getting the short end of the stick during this pandemic, and it's easy to see why. Not being in the physical plane, they're unable to remove the masks that cover a large area of their victims' faces. This in turn makes it impossible to steal them. Agitated, most face stealers have left human populations to steal the faces of unsuspecting animals. It is still unclear whether they'll return once the pandemic ends, but at least we can hope that as long as face masks don't disappear, neither will the faces behind them. It's really sad to hear that face stealers are after innocent animals now, but I can't say I'd rather have them take mine. Apparently, many of you have forgotten old tactics to ward off these creatures, but I guess that's not surprising given the current state of magic. I know it's safer to turn towards technology so humans don't take notice of us again, but there are a few books full of non-magical deterrents for magical creatures out there, so if you live in wooded areas or far from human cities in general, take some time to research and keep yourself safe. If I remember correctly, face stealers rely heavily on scent to get around, and they hate herbal smells like lavender and rosemary. Herbs are usually pretty easy to grow, and it seems humans sell a lot of candles and sprays with those scents now, so you can buy them as well. Anywho, let's delve into nature, shall we? A social media study recently showed that people's overall well-being is negatively affected by pollution. Well, duh, I don't think it takes science to notice that much. Why did I write that down? Sorry, let's skip that. The pollution I would like to focus on today is acid rain. Acid rain has especially been wreaking havoc on druid and water spirit populations, and the numbers have grown exponentially since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. It weakens calcium in soil, making it harder for trees to hold on to water, and as is common knowledge, most druids are made of trees. Water spirits that take the form of plants have also reported outer limbs showing signs of corrosion and burning from long exposure to acid rain. There is a way to counteract this, however. Enchanted springs are not being affected by any form of pollution, so if there is one in your area, I would recommend taking refuge there during especially bad acid rainfall. Soaking in the water will also heal most burns and stop corrosion, though sadly it is not strong enough to stop scarring. The next segment is a bit of a 180, but there's exciting news from the world of archaeology. A grouping of over 400 footprints has been found in Tanzania, making it the largest collection of ancient footprints found on the African continent. The volcanic debris these footprints were made in dates to between 19,100 and 5,700 years ago. A few local sorcerers and priest magicians performed a rewind ritual on the footprints and showed that they were actually created by a small family of shapeshifters. Two adults seemed to be teaching a child how to hold various human forms and were building endurance by walking across this distance multiple times. The collection of tracks shows that the three shapeshifters were able to make about 20 different human forms of various ages and sizes. It is quite an impressive feat, if you ask me. Findings such as these may seem trivial, but they can help show how shapeshifting practices have changed over the millennia. You know, I actually owe some of my fame to a shapeshifter. I was kind of a party animal during antiquity, and even though some of my parties would get out of hand, I did manage to keep them on my island. Well, I guess it's better to say that I usually did not leave my island, so of course none of the parties would follow me out. That is until a shapeshifter attended one, and loved it so much that they started taking on my appearance and throwing crazy parties on the mainland. Humans were so enamored by them that they based another god off me. As if one weren't enough, right? It wasn't the first or last time that would happen. There have been many throughout different cultures that were based off me, but Dionysus was definitely one of my favorites. But I digress. I'd now like to take a moment to review a topic in social media: art trends. Art trends this month have included the following: a Draw This in Your Style art meme resurfaced in mid-May, this time focusing on a screenshot of the beloved anime Sailor Moon. There have also been various 6 drawings memes, such as 6 characters to make fan art of, 6 landscapes to draw, and 6 outfits for my OC. The youth of the Nuna community in the Philippines have also popularized their own art memes that have spread around various non-human art forums. The most widespread meme has been 6 favorite curses, which for those of you who can't imagine it, involves drawing interpretations or examples of one's favorite curses. I really hope that's regular art and not magically imbued art. Don't want stray curses wreaking havoc while the world is already in such a sorry state, am I right? I'm sure more experienced Nuno are keeping an eye on them. It's not a huge community, so it should be fairly easy to keep an incident from occurring. And that brings us to the final topic. The international blood trade has been seeing increased bidding prices for the first time in a few hundred years. Since the virus spread gradually around the world, clean blood has only been available from certain regions in any given month. Since prices have increased, many vampiric species have decided to turn to hibernation, rather than go back to the old ways of attacking unsuspecting strangers, which is very kind of them. Most vampire broods in Europe, Kappa villages in Japan, and the Asanbosam clan in Ghana have all made public statements that their groups will be sleeping for at least the next 2 years to preserve energy in weight of lowered blood prices. Other groups in Asia and North and South America are setting up donation facilities. If you are a magic creature with regenerative abilities, are in good health, and can get to these facilities safely, please consider donating a few pints to your local vampires. As has been customary since the mid-1800s, they promise not to bite. I would also suggest for any of you magic casters that use blood in potions and brews to ration them out for important cases only. We want those who actually use blood for sustenance to get as much as possible, and there are certainly plenty of weaker spells that will tide you over for the time being. And sadly, that is all the news I have for you this month. If you have any comments or concerns, please be sure to @me on the official Immortals of Old forums, and be sure to upvote this broadcast if you enjoyed it. This has been your host Atlas, and I hope to see you all next month, and broadcast. That went surprisingly well. Other than the few hiccups about pollution or whatever, I think that was pretty much a success. Maybe I shouldn't have talked so much about the past, but it has got to be more interesting than stiff old news headlines. And maybe I can slowly debunk some of the myths about me and other immortals this way. Oh, next month I should say I never had anything to do with those maps, and maybe people will finally stop asking me about them. You know, I know you're not sentient and you can't actually hear me, but pretending that you can has kind of been helping me get used to all this, just a little. Maybe I should give you a name or something. I'll think about it. 404 Magic Not Found is a free-to-listen podcast written and performed by Duran. It is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial 4.0 International License. Follow Atlas as he recounts news articles from the previous month, but this time with a magical twist. New episodes are released on a monthly basis, and if you would like to support this podcast, be sure to listen to it on the Queer Amigos YouTube channel. Full episodes will eventually be put on Spotify and other platforms, but there will be a short delay. Thank you for listening.